ארגונו לשיפור תנאי המחיה של התושבים. השבוע הוא יזם ומימן מסע של ניצולי שואה המתגוררים בדרום, הסיע אותם לירושלים, בה עדיין לא ביקרו. הנה שיחה שערכנו עמו. You told me that this is your third war in Israel.
Yeah, and this has got to stop. we don't need any more wars in Israel. It has to stop.
What is the purpose of your visits to Israel during war times?
I think it's the responsibility of every person who believes in freedom and democracy to stand with Israel in time of need, especially against radical Islam, which I consider evil, and the hurt that they brought to southern Israel especially. When I go there and I see how the people are living in 6x8 bomb shelters with 6 to 8 children, it breaks my heart. Because see, I love freedom and democracy. And Hamas is denying the people of Israel freedom and democracy with these unbelievable acts of terrorism. It's not Israel that's killing those poor Palestinian people. It's the Hamas that's killing them, my friend. And I want America to know that. And that's why I'm here. I'm not only here to help to make needs of the people living in southern Israel. I'm here to get this word back to America so Americans will stand with Israel, our friend.
Is the purpose of your visit is to raise the morale of the people in Israel?
It's really two avenues. One, the first avenue is to try to meet the needs of the less fortunate that can't get out of their homes, like Holocaust survivors, like the people who are elderly. They can't get out of their homes to buy groceries. They're stuck there. They're prisoners of their own home because of this unbelievable act by Hamas.
How do you help the Holocaust survivors?
What I try to do is to provide things that will make them happy. Like, for instance, we just brought 20 Holocaust survivors to Jerusalem. Most all of them have never been.
These days?
Right here, just this past week. They've never been to Jerusalem.
Never
been to Jerusalem. And these are people that have gone through Hitler and his thugs in the hell in Germany. And they come here and have to go through it in their own home. Somebody has to reach down to these people and say, look, we appreciate what you've done and what you've gone through. And so I wanted to bring some joy into their lives. And by taking them and bringing them here to Jerusalem and going to the Kotel, they were crying, praying for the soldiers, IDF soldiers. To see that and to feel that, it's an emotional thing that cannot be put in words. So that's part of what I do. The other part is trying to meet the needs of the IDF soldiers on the front line. We've always provided them with underwear, t-shirts, gum, candy, socks, things that they really need.
During peace times or during war times?
Well, they need it on the front lines. And so when I can give it to them and they see and feel the love that's coming from people from another country, it makes a difference in when they walk across that line to the other side. And I'm telling you, I have lost more tears thinking and believing and seeing these people, how they love Israel, and they're going out in the front lines and fighting. And I'm so proud of your Prime Minister. He should be the top lieutenant in King David's army right now because he is doing something that will hopefully end that horror that's taking place in southern Israel and all around Israel now, be quite frank with you, and hopefully keep them from coming to America.
Tell me, Mr. Cox, do you believe that the Holocaust survivors who usually lives in Sderot, yes?
Yes.
Do they really need a Christian philanthropist who came from the southern part of the United States in order to take them to Jerusalem?
Do they need it? No.
It's very strange.
No, they don't need it. I think that others would do the same thing here in Israel, but that your hands are filled with so many other problems that you don't have time to focus on some of the needs of the folks down in Sderot and Ashkelon and Hanegab and Ashdod and Ashkelon. You just don't have time. And if I can do something to bring joy to these people in this time of war, not conflict, but war, I'll do everything I can from even selling my house if necessary, because I believe in Israel and I believe in the people. I believe that you are folks that really are seeking democracy and freedom.
What was their reactions?
You would not believe it until you could see it. First of all, when they arrived in Jerusalem, they get off the bus and they're looking at me sort of, who is this man? Why is he doing this? So they were sort of holding back a little bit.
Suspicious.
After the second day, we were loving each other around our necks and holding each other. And by the time they got on the bus earlier today to leave to go back to Steer Oak, tears were coming down their eyes. It was almost like a family reunion that you haven't seen folks in years, and you come together. It was worth every penny that was expended. And again, we want to continue to do this as much as we can during this time.
Excuse me, Mr. Cox, but who pays these enterprises?
Well, it's a good bit
Covers it.
A good bit comes from me, but there again, I want to make, when I came to Israel, I asked a lot of people that have businesses to give me a discount. I asked hotels to give me a discount. So I think that the people of Israel can be probably given credit as well. But there are a lot of people that come together and give money. It's not only my money. I just happen to be the guy on the front lines who gets credit for it. But there are people behind me that the only time they'll get credit is when they go and see Hashem. Right now, they're not getting the credit, but they are standing with me.
Why Israel? Because of your religious
No.
beliefs?
I think that's part of it, but I think, again, as I indicated earlier,
I believe that you're an evangelist.
I'm not an evangelist, but I'm not a preacher. I'm not an evangelist. I've never had theological training.
You
Never.
don't want to convert us.
I'm not. If you convert you, I don't have the power to convert myself. You know? So no, that's not an objective. And I think you're seeing more and more of that within the Christian community.
Earl Cox, how do you assess the mood of the public in America, or the atmosphere which is created by the media in the United States with regard to this military operation? What is your impression?
I'm ashamed to say I think that most of the attitude or the consensus in America is surrounded with apathy and complacency. I think it's a lethargic group of people who happen to have good homes, nice cars, and they are divorced from what's happening here in Israel. They don't really understand it simply because of
Well, it's a very remote place.
it's a remote place, but when you have a liberal media like CNN, like BBC, like NBC in America, that's constantly putting out lies and untruths about Israel, what do you expect? Because people are too, and I don't like to use the word lazy, but let's just use the word lethargic. They just find other things in their life. They like to play golf. They like to do it. But if it's not stopped in Israel, it's going to soon be on the shores of America.
I would like to understand, Mr. Cox, are you planning to take steps vis-a-vis the media in the United States?
Yes, when I
You
return,
or your organization?
when I return home, that I plan to be in Washington or either New York to hold a news conference, and I will have people with me that are well established within the Christian community. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised if there's going to be some boycotting against some of these outlets. Not to mention any of them right now, but we will go after one. And people who advertise on those networks, we're going to ask the tens of millions of Americans to boycott those products that are advertised on those stations.
How many television stations are under your influence, under your umbrella?
There is one television satellite alone that provides to the Christian community 90%. It's called the Wake Satellite Network. I do commentaries for them. They reach almost 1 billion people around this world. And in that 1 billion people, there are tens of millions of Christians. The real Christian, not the Christian over here, but the Christian who really believes in the Bible and in the Torah. These are the people that's going to stand with you. The evangelicals, they send their money, they give their time. They're going to stand with you, not behind you, but they're going to stand beside Israel. Those are the people that I'm trying to reach. And those are the people that will cause damage to those folks who advertise on these stations that go against Israel. It is a shame as a journalist to sit back and look at other journalists who are reporting non-truths, absolutely lies about Israel, and making it appear as though Israel is killing people over in Gaza. The fact of the matter is, and I know this for a fact, Israel is dropping leaflets. Israel is on texting these people. Israel is on telephones to these people. Move out. We're coming in. But Hamas will not let them move. And consequently, they're being killed. So whose fault is it? It's Hamas. It is not Israel. You and I live here. We know that you value life. They don't.
I thank you very much, Mr. Earl Cox.
It's been my pleasure.